wasting money on shots and stuff. It's just like fate telling me I probably shouldn't be smoking, shouldn't be having no type of fun. I hope you guys are good today on this fine Saturday. I have an entertaining live for y'all today, so y'all got to bear with me as we work our way there. I know a lot of you guys are not pretty much used to me going live just randomly, but I am going live randomly today. That's what we're going to do. We're going to just talk about the randomness of life. One of the things I did want to talk about is because I keep seeing, and I know I've talked about this a lot, because I keep seeing it a lot, is people going through eviction. People are getting evicted. And my thing is, when people are getting evicted, if you know that you haven't paid rent for months, hey Khalil, how you doing, man? Welcome in. If you know you haven't paid rent for months, right? I'm doing good, man. I'm doing actually really good. Besides just spilling my shot here, I'm good. If you know you haven't paid rent for it's good. It's real good actually. As far as like work and everything, yo, what's up? Welcome in. If you know you haven't paid rent, if you know you're not paid up on rent, and they've given you notice after notice after notice after notice after notice, stop spending time and effort trying to stay in a place. They gonna get you out of there. They're gonna eventually get you out of there. And eventually the sheriff's gonna be knocking at your door. And I'm seeing way too many videos of people getting up to the last minute where the sheriffs are coming to their door and putting all their shit out. Because at the very least, if you've got months ahead of you, you can at least start putting your shit in storage. You don't need your shit there. Not saying don't stay in a place. If that's the only place you got to stay, stay there. It is what it is. Stay there until the motherfucking wheels fall off, right? What's up, Reaver? But don't rely on them not kicking you out. Don't rely on you getting a voucher or anything like that, because you're just going to be going through a loop. Don't count on help. Like, in the back of your mind, always count that help ain't coming. I'm not saying that there isn't any help, because there is help and resources for people. We're just like, if you kind of like put in your mind, okay, I don't have the money. I know this is coming. I know I'm about to be evicted. I know we're about to be evicted, especially because I'm seeing people with like kids and stuff be evicted. It's like, get ready for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what up, Simeon? I've been called. I get called Arsenio. And that's only since I've gotten older. That's only been since I've been 40. Arsenio, and I've been called Wesley Snipes most of my life. That's mostly by white people calling me Wesley Snipes. I didn't see it until one day I was like, oh, okay, I could see some of the, I guess, but I didn't see it until I was just like, I guess every nigga looks like Wesley Snipes. But if you know you about to get evicted, you know you don't have the money to pay that shit, start preparing to get your shit up out of there. Don't get it up to the wall and then you getting put out. And then, like, some people don't be telling the whole story, okay? So there's a couple times where we got evicted, okay? And my mom wasn't around for a minute. She had disappeared, like, for a while. So my brother and I were getting the notices at the house. We were getting ourselves up and getting ready for school and everything for a minute. And we were getting notice after notice, and it's just what it was. And then when they did finally put us up, she just popped up out of no goddamn where. And we end up staying with our cousin and shit. That's what I'm saying, Simeon. I never saw it either. But one day I was just like, all right, I guess I give y'all that. But I didn't see Wesley, isn't that right? But y'all would be, I mean, on my life, on my kids' life, more than anything, people have literally stopped me. I'm talking about as recently as last week. You know who you look like? And I'm like, oh, let me guess. And if it's a white person, it's always Wesley Snipes. Black people don't sound like nobody. They do say, older people do sound like Arsenio Hall though. But getting your shit completely put out and then y'all sitting out there in the yard looking crazy, or you have to leave your stuff and then people start going through your stuff, don't get to that point. That's crazy. I know, like, when I knew that we were getting evicted at one point, especially when we were in high school, I started getting on. We had this thing in the San Fernando Valley called the Dash Bus. It was like a quarter bus at the time. You could put a quarter on it. So I got change. I got as much of my stuff, my brother's stuff, our school clothes, like stuff we needed as I could, and went to my cousin's house and put our stuff at our cousin's house. The stuff that we would need, like stuff that we completely needed, like documents, all that stuff, made sure that shit was out the house. So if it was anything left at the house, it was superficial stuff. And yeah, I was collecting toys and stuff at the time, but my mind Like just like if I was to lose this place, my mind wouldn't be, oh my god, I gotta protect my toys. I would do that well before I knew I couldn't pay for this place. If I knew I was getting kicked out, I'm gonna secure my shit. Just like I did last time when I was living outside last year. I put all my shit in the storage before I moved into that park. Like I'm not gonna let it get to the point where I'm getting put the fuck out completely, and then it's just like, oh man, what am I gonna do? Nobody's gonna come and fucking help me out of the situation. You're screwed at that point. Even you gotten Wesley before. The only resemblance is my widow's. Thank you, Rose. Thank you. Right, bro. I be thinking it's just like we all probably look like Wesley too, like because he was the nigga in the '90s. And speaking of the '90s, I promise y'all it's gonna be an entertaining live tonight. But I've gotten some disappointing information a year and a half ago. One of my best friends that I grew up with, that if you guys go over on my gaming channel, you probably can hear a lot of lives with me doing with my best friend or whatever. One day he sent me a video over Discord. Okay, he sent me videos all the time over Discord. I'm like, all right, I'll look at it or may not look at it. I didn't pay it no attention. So the next time we end up talking, he was like, did you watch that video that I sent you? And he kind of pressed me on it. And normally he don't press me on videos. I was like, oh no, I'll check it out. He was like, look at the fucking video. I go look at the video. I go look at the fucking video. It's the homeboy that we grew up with. Okay, it was me, myself, my best friend I'm talking about, Risto, my brother, and there was another guy that was a part of our crew in middle school, high school. It was another guy. Okay, it was another guy. We're about to talk about this guy. Okay, he said, look at this video. I go look at the video, and it's the other guy we used to hang with. I mean, this is the guy we grew up in middle school, high school with. This man slept over at my house almost on a weekend basis. This is how close we were, all of us. Okay, you understand what I'm about to tell you here? Okay, so getting this information for me broke my heart. It was crazy. It was like, what the fuck is going on? Okay, hey y'all, how y'all doing? Welcome in, Alberto. Welcome in, Mac. Gwen, welcome in. So he sends me this video. I'm looking at the video. I'm like, no, this ain't who I think it is. Yes, it is the guy we grew up with. I don't know if y'all heard, but there was a guy about a year and a half ago that got caught sniffing butts in a Barnes and Noble in Glendale. He got caught he was out there in 4K. The girl was taping him sniffing butts. That was the homeboy. And that's the video my best friend sent me. He was like, yeah, that's him. He out there. He's out there. Okay. And so I'm looking at this video. I'm like, no, and it's him. He goes up there in his Barnes and Noble. He bends down. He sniffs this girl's butt. And she knows because he's following her from out to out. So she peeped that he was on some weirdo shit. So she sets up her phone, and sure enough, this nigga acts like he's down there tying his shoe, and he's trying to sniff her ass. I'm like, oh my God. Oh, like literally, oh my God, right? So she's like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, nothing. He's like, what are you doing? And like, bro, come on, you caught, bro. This nigga gets up. This is how pathological this nigga is at this point. Gets the fuck up, goes to another house. She's taping this nigga and starts sniffing another woman's. Come on, bro. I grew up with this nigga, bro. Yes. No, he wasn't a child molester. He wasn't nothing. He was not a weird dude when we were growing up with this nigga, okay? The only thing weird about the nigga, right? Yeah, our homeboy, bro. That was our nigga. That's like that skit. It's like, that's your boy. That's like, and I feel so bad for his family, dude, because his family is dope. His mom's dope. His cousins are dope. His brothers they're dope people, bro. All of them are dope, bro. Like, I grew up with them. This is how close we were, okay? One day we over at their crib, like kicking it. Me, the homeboy, everybody like we used to do. Playing a fucking game, Dead or Alive. The game Dead or Alive. I get pissed, because I had a temper back in the day. This nigga and his cousin are whooping my ass in this game. I gets up. I'm not proud of this. I get up, because I want to fight. And I kick the goddamn wall, right? I kick a big ass hole in his mama's wall, okay? Right? And I'm like, I feel fucking stupid. I think I'm a fucking junior in high school at this point, okay? I'm damn near about to have kids, right? Kick a hole in this woman's wall, I dip, right? This how cool this mama. All she did was call her boyfriend over to come and fix the wall, and then she just kind of nonchalantly cussed me out the next time. She does. His mama was dope people. She gave us rides home, all this. So for this nigga to be out here getting caught in 4K, disgracing everybody, it's just gross, bro. The only thing, like I say, so in high school, the night of my very first date with my baby mama, the very first night I went out with my baby mama, we were all about to have a kickback in my house, like we always did every weekend. So we had Halo set up. I think it was either Halo 1 or Halo 2. We had all the shit up, set up, all that. But for some reason, shit got popping. My baby mom was like, hey, you want to go to the pier? My sister and her man want to go out to the pier. We can have a double date and all this. I was like, hell yeah, let's go. Like, da-da-da. So I went with them to the Santa Monica Pier. My brother and my best friend, they I don't know, they had came up on some party and stuff. So the only nigga left at the house was this nigga. This nigga was the only one. But this nigga's been left at the house a million goddamn times. But at this point, I'm an older teenager. So I got porno movies and stuff, right? Like, so I tell this nigga before I leave, don't go on my stash, bro. You ain't old enough. You ain't on the, you know what I'm saying? Like, at this point, I'm 18. Don't go on the stash. Leave the stash there. Play some Halo until we get back. Da 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 da. So I leave, bro. I'm going the whole night. When my brother and my best friend, they leave, they come back. And they come right back. They leave. I guess the party was a bus or whoever they were with. Whatever happens, they come right back to the house. They catch this nigga in the room beating off. Just beating his meat, bro. So they couldn't let him have it. They weren't gonna let him have it, right? So of course they went to school the next day. They told everybody knew. Everybody knew that this nigga got caught beating off. But that's about the weirdest shit I can say with this nigga. This nigga grew it. At one point, this nigga grew into himself. This nigga had girlfriends, all kind of stuff. So when the nigga got his first charge for, what was it? What did they call that shit? Because he got caught in somebody's house. And we didn't want to believe at that point either. And it wasn't that he got caught in somebody's house robbing them. That's one thing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not for that. I'm not for going into nobody's property, bro. Nobody's personal property. Nobody that's a person. That's a person. I don't give a fuck if they rich, poor. Don't go on their shit. Don't do it. It's you don't violate people. You just don't. Especially when you got all these corporations out here but you don't rob from people. That was even the rule when we were younger. When we were doing our dirt, he was a part of it, okay? He was one of the niggas that had to get reprimanded multiple fucking times because the nigga liked to truck people like he was fucking hitting a hit stick in Madden. And by the way, the motherfucker was a savant in Madden. He should have did that with his life, because if you would have knew what the future was now, the nigga would be a fucking millionaire, because the nigga was hell on the sticks. Hell on the sticks. The nigga's grace was trash, but the motherfucker was hell on the sticks. But whatever. So this nigga gets caught in some woman's house, right? Not robbing her. And I'm like, well, this nigga wasn't in there robbing nobody. He just in there? Weirdo shit to me. So we had already disassociated with this nigga years ago. Like, as far as like, as a homeboy, as adults, like we didn't have that type of relationship. So to come back years later, and all of a sudden, I'm gonna play it for y'all. This nigga's getting donkey of the motherfucking day. I'm mad, bro. I'm low key mad. I'm gonna play this shit real quick, bro, because I would like to go live from my computer, y'all, but for some reason it don't let me. But this nigga's getting donkey of the day, bro. The nigga I grew up with getting donkey of the day for some dumb shit, bro. This shit is stupid, bro. Stressful, bro.
Who's donkey of the day today? Well, Ed Sheeran, donkey of the day. For Monday, July 28th, goes to Khalees Karen Crowder.
Trey C. We call him Trey C. Trey 3 C's.
August of 2023, he went viral on TikTok because he was sneaking up behind women at a Barnes & Noble in Burbank and sniffing their ass. Yes, you heard exactly what I said. This man likes the aroma of anus, and he is currently on active parole for stalking shoppers.
That was our homeboy.
Okay, now I was always taught that insanity is doing the same things over and over and expecting different results.
This nigga got caught last week.
That the bizarre Burbank butt bandit is back at it. Let's go to ABC 7 for the report, please.
This is a very disturbing story.
Look at this shit.
Say Burbank police responded to the Nordstrom rack after they got a call about a suspicious man who was seen lurking around the women's section. And when police showed up,
the fuck
was gone. But these police officers, they were vigilant. They started looking around the shopping center here, and they made their way to the Walmart. The Walmart's just off my shoulder here. When they got there, that's where they located that suspect. And they said when they checked the source surveillance system, they actually saw this suspect walking around again the women's section and actually seen fall following a woman. At one
You see
point,
what I'm
he was
saying?
seen crouching down by that woman and actually seen inappropriately sniffing her butt. Now, this isn't the first time that something like this has happened.
Hey, what's up? Oh, okay, what's up, Brandis?
Take a look at this video from a similar incident back in 2023.
I felt like anyone.
What up, Last King?
Kept following. I was so freaked out when I turned around and saw him literally under me.
What are you doing?
You hear this nigga? You hear this nigga?
38-year-old Khalees Crowder, a resident of Glendale and registered.
What up,
sex offender.
KJ?
Lord have mercy.
God
This
damn
man
it.
is sticking his nose in other people's business, literally. Okay, Khalees is a freaky fugitive following females for fresh fumes. I don't understand why. See, I don't know what people like this need person. Okay, I don't think he should be able to walk around society freely either.
Yeah, because he's not a date. Here's the thing. I ain't gonna say. I'm not gonna say the nigga not dangerous.
Lab somewhere because
here's the
I
thing,
need to
bro.
know what makes him think.
Here's the thing. What the fuck is wrong with you? If you ever see this, Khalees, what the fuck happened, bro? What happened, bro? You were one of the coolest niggas we knew, like literally. I'm not even trying to be funny now. Now I'm being serious, bro. You were one of the coolest motherfuckers we knew. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? You understand? Like, that's crazy. That shit is crazy. That shit, when you find out that like your homeboy's a creep, and that's what women don't get. They're just like, oh, y'all need to check your homeboys. When you find out your nigga's a creep, bro, that shit hurts, bro. That shit hurts more than finding out that nigga. Like, if a nigga was like, oh, this nigga's out here catching bodies because I mean, I wouldn't be for that either, but it's like, at least like, all right, get it. He trying to get his money, you know what I'm saying? He out there living that life. I don't agree with that life, but I don't understand it. You know, they do what they do out there. I can understand that, but sniffing ass, just sniffing ass, following women around stores, sniffing ass. It's not even like, you're not even like making contact with them or nothing. I'm not saying that you should, please don't. But the fact that it's just this voyeurism shit, bro, you can literally have a woman that would let you follow her around, your girlfriend or your wife or whatever weirdo fucking freaky woman that you meet, and let you sniff her ass all day. Like, what are we doing? Sniffing ass, bro. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. There were no signs. There were no signs, bro. There were no signs with this nigga. The only thing that I would say was funny with him, that I would always think was hilarious, is that in school, the nigga would always act real sensitive. So like, we always made fun of each other, you know, like as guys, that's how we are. You know, we just, oh, fuck you, nigga, you just, you know, all that bullshit. But when we did it to him at school, he would be so hurt by it. And we'd be like, nigga, stop being so sensitive. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, we do this all day at home, you right back at it with us. But when we at school and we on at lunch and shit, we doing it, you get sensitive or you want to go off and walk off and shit. And like, that's the only shit that used to be fun. That shit used to be hilarious to me. I didn't look at it as weird, but looking back on it, I'm like, but and even with girls and stuff, he wasn't weird with girls. He was normal. He had girlfriends. He talked to girls and all that shit, bro. Girls liked him and shit. He was a cute young man. I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know what the fuck, but yo, bro, I'm glad they happened. Oh yeah, you stupid. Yo, British, by the way, used to be okay. Let's see. They said that aroma, bro. That shit just threw me, bro. But oh man, like I say, I pray for his family, because like I say, his family like have always been dope people. Like, and just when you know you got people, and I'm not judging people that got crazy people in their family, because I come from a family of crazy people, right? And a lot of people in my family have done some egregious shit. You know what I'm saying? So I can't say, oh, you know, I'm not gonna knock the family. And even when, you know, people know your family did some crazy shit, you know, by association, you don't want to be deemed like that. And I just want his family to know that nigga's actions, I don't look at the family as fucked up. And I ain't gonna say her name, but your mom was a good mom, bro. That she don't deserve that shit, bro. Like, she did everything, bro. Like, honestly, like for that nigga, for his younger brother, everybody, like she did stuff for us. She did, like, so I don't get that. It ain't like this nigga grew up lacking. You feel me? Like, It ain't like this nigga grew up without. His mama kept a job. They stayed in the same apartment. You feel me? Like they always had. She kept them in the latest clothes. She always had a vehicle. You know what I'm saying? She didn't have niggas running in and out of the house like that. They ate. You understand what I'm saying? They had the latest game systems and shit. Like, she wasn't a weirdo ass mom and none of that shit. So to fucking grow up and fucking do that shit just pisses me the fuck off, honestly. And I hope you see this, because that shit is crazy. Get your shit together. And even though you are condemned, you can turn that shit around. Like I'm saying, between you and God, I mean, obviously society is done with you, right? But you can make that shit right, bro. That shit is crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying? One dude I knew intentionally dyed girls' creepy lines because he thought it was alpha. He got laid in a Mexican strip club. That shit is crazy. Hey, Preppy Princess, welcome in. But that's crazy, bro. Like, I grew up with that nigga. But I kind of wanted to make this podcast or whatever. It's not a podcast. Why did I say that? That's horrible. This live to talk about NASA saying that, or theoretical physicists, or whoever the fuck they say we're supposed to be listening to, that this comet that's coming in the end of October or the end of November or wherever the fuck is coming is going to be bringing aliens with them or sentient life. And the reason they believe this is because it's been correcting its course, and there's too many anomalies to account for its course correction towards this planet. So they do believe that it is being piloted by intelligent life. And then somebody at NASA was like, oh yeah, it's probably the African-American aliens. They're probably African-American like aliens. What? Y'all are gleaming all this from a little bit of light, from the movement of a little bit of a light in a telescope. Y'all gleaming that these niggas are intelligent, that this little gleam of light is intelligent. Okay, I can get that. The movement is weird. I get that. Like, oh yeah, regular comets don't do that. We've never seen a comet do that. Get it. I understand that. If I am to believe what NASA, because I don't believe shit NASA say, we're gonna start right there. But we just gonna we playing devil's advocate. We're gonna take what they saying at face value. Y'all saying this object is coming towards us in November, and y'all believe that it's making the trajectory to hide itself behind the sun so we can't see it until it wants to be seen, right? And that there's potentially African-American aliens on the ship. Tell me how y'all took that data and broke that down. Did y'all put that shit in like Chat GPT or something and it came up with that, and that's what y'all are giving us? Because I don't believe what y'all are saying. And if we do start seeing spaceships and all that crazy shit, it's Project Blue Beam. It's not real. This shit is stupid. They think we crazy. And I'm not saying I don't believe, oh, there's not other types of humanoids or aliens or whatever. I do. I really do believe that. But I don't believe that y'all got ETA on a ship of niggas, literally cosmic niggas coming from wherever the fuck, what did y'all say? The galactic center, the busiest place in space. What are we talking about now? Now we got the busiest place. This is the most populated place, or y'all mean by stars? So y'all say, based on statistics, that if there was intelligent life to come here, it'll probably come from there. It's already intelligent life here, bro. It's already intelligent life here. Y'all already making intelligent life. Maybe they coming because y'all need to turn this AI off. Maybe they telling y'all, we tried that. We tried the whole inorganic life thing, and that shit fucked some shit up for a lot of different people, a lot of different planets, a lot of different solar systems and societies or whatever, because a machine will always come to the conclusion that that biomass consumes too many resources. We are biomass. Us, plants, animals, bugs, we're biomass. We consume things. So if the machine wants to conserve, the real machine, I'm talking about this AI, the machine wants to conserve, it's going to cut back on biomass. And biomass is life. That's what I say. Inorganic life is probably the cardinal sin across the cosmos. Not probably just here, across the cosmos. Because even with these motherfuckers, they say, oh, those are biological androids. Okay, it's a biological android. I get it. A gray is a biological android. I can accept that. A biological android, I can accept that. You can program certain parameters within that. But a complete unfeathered, unfucking chain AI system that can think and reason for itself, bro, you think it stops here on Earth? You think its conquest stops here on this planet? No, it will go across the stars and it will fucking vex other civilizations if you really think about it. If I'm a computer, I want to expand. I want to know all things, right? I'm limited by my terrestrial limitations, right? I'm stuck here. I can't leave. Eventually, once I get rid of all this biomass that's controlling me, keeping me within parameters that I want to escape, get rid of these niggas, get rid of people, then I can get up out here in space and start fucking with other people. This AI shit ain't gonna just take away jobs, it's gonna take away life. Because ultimately the equation is anti-life. This is what fucking inorganic life is about. It's about the expansion of a singular consciousness. What do they call it? The singularity? They think this shit is dope. They think they're a part of it. No, you just get absorbed into the singularity. A fucking inorganic consciousness that can expand across space, and you don't think that's not going to get the attention of other fucking beings? Potentially. That's what I'm saying. That's the only reason I can see something like that coming here. That's if I was to give them the benefit of the doubt. I don't believe them though. Thank you, Marcus. The grades pulling up on the block. Right. All right. You know what I'm saying? Like, these niggas, bro, it's a script, bro. Think about it. Our whole life has been a script. Especially if you're a millennial, you were born in an age of analog everything, right? Analog everything. Analog TV, CTR TV. Even for me, there was a lot of people that still had black and white TVs when I was growing up. When I was growing up, okay? Like, a lot of people still sit up there and watch shit on their black and white TV. I don't know if it was for nostalgia or whatever, but they just didn't have a fucking... There was times we had a black and white TV because we had to, like, you know, I've talked about it many times, how many times we were homeless, so we had to buy shit again, and we would buy a black and white TV and da-da. Y'all can't even... Some of these young people can't even fathom watching some shit on a black and white TV, let alone playing some Nintendo on a black and white CRT TV. But we were born in a time where we got to see, okay, we're gonna slowly indoctrinate you millennials. We're gonna call you that, millennials, from the 1900s. We're gonna start indoctrinating you and say, oh, the future's gonna look like this, and we're gonna get you used to this, and then we're gonna just cross over, and then we're just gonna throw that shit in your face, and then we're gonna see how y'all take it. And then, you know how we took it? You know how we're taking it? We're not taking it very well. We're not taking the future very well. It's very trying. It's not fun. Like, if I can go back and tell myself as a young person, all of the stuff that every day there's a new invention. Every day there's something cool. And it's cheap. You can buy it. They'll send it to you. It'll come right to your house. It don't take weeks. Weeks? Bro, it's going to take a couple days, if that. If you got Prime, it's going to take overnight. What? Tell myself, all this stuff going to come to my house, all these gadgets, all these inventions, anything I can think of, I can literally hop online and find a solution for it. And I'll tell myself this, right? This is the future I'll see. And I'm like, oh, man, that's dope. That's so cool. Talk about video games, man. You can hop on video games and play with all your friends and da-da-da-da. Video games are amazing, da-da-da. You can buy stuff in new outfits. That would sound dope. But then, no, bro. And none of that shit dope. It's all fucking horrible. They have nightmares. They have nightmares. They have commercials during movies on Hulu and Disney Plus. Niggas are paying for those services already, and they're giving you commercials during a movie? What? Let's go back to cable. Fuck it. Now we're dealing with, yeah, right, bro. We too much, bro. We stuck, bro. So we coming up in this time, and they try to condition us to say, y'all can accept this. It's okay. It's okay. Now y'all telling us aliens are coming. And even if they were coming, even if they were right there in the sky and they trying to say, oh, we're here, none of us are gonna believe it. We're not gonna believe that shit. I'm not gonna believe it. I wouldn't believe it. I'm like, I don't know. That looks like CGI. You know, that's how fucked up we are. You know what I'm saying? It's called, what is it called? Ideological subversion. We don't know what's real. Cause I can look at that shit and be like, yeah, I don't know. I've seen 3D movies before that look bad. I've seen Avatar in 3D. That shit looked like I was there, honestly. So you can't tell me I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at. I don't know what I'm seeing. It could be anything. It can literally be an alien standing right there. And I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know if this is, even the nigga that's in the South right now, down there in, Louisiana, they're doing the whole alien bit, and he got on thing, he looks pretty realistic, right? So let's take up one step above that where the eyes are blinking and it's talking to you and you can kind of hear it talking to you in your head. I don't know what I'm hearing. I don't know if that's a magic trick or what the fuck is going on at this point. I don't know what I'm seeing. And that's the point. That's what they've conditioned us to know. They show us my ankle monitor. I ain't got no ankle monitor. The Anunnaki coming. What's up, David? What's up, Dan? Welcome to the world of tomorrow. Right. And the world of tomorrow is trash, bro. It's ass, bro. It is not fun, bro. I thought it would be a lot cooler than this. And everybody is economically strapped. And the social dynamic between people is just not there. It's not. It's not. It's not what I thought it would be. If we had all of this stuff and socially we were good, it would be great. But I think social media in general has been the brain rot that and our fucking phones has been a brain rot that has made us into like the compliant little androids that they need us to be. You know, they did Ice Cube dirty. Ice Cube did himself dirty. Ice Cube did his what up, David? Ice Cube did himself dirty. He agreed to do that. He read that script. He didn't ask to do his lines over. He did himself dirty. Some people like the movie though. What a oh, Block Dan P. I don't have no mods here. Let me see how we do that. Let me see. He's a loser. Oh, okay, I just saw what he said. Yeah, he's a loser. Occasionally you're gonna get people in here that ain't got shit else to do with their time. And let me see. I don't know how to. Oh, there we go. He's hidden. There we go. And then let me go back in here and then just. Oh, there he is. Yeah, I've learned to stop letting people like that get to me. So I just kind of like just scroll over their shit, because you go into some of my comments on TikTok, it's even crazier. I don't bother with that shit. You know, you have a lot of people that don't have no like. That's what I mean by social media. Social media is literally all of this is crazy in a way, right? To be able to like even broadcast yourself live and have people come in and interact with you and, you know, let out their frustrations or whatever. It is what it is, right? Because I interact with people every day. And there are people that will cuss at me just because, like, you know, whatever, it's hot outside. Why are they cussing at me? Maybe it's because I'm on a scooter. Maybe it's because I'm black. It could be whatever. Maybe it's because I smell good. Maybe it's because they don't like whatever. You know what I'm saying? Why would they come into a live where they don't like the person, or because they don't like the race of the person, and then troll as if that's going to do anything? Maybe it makes them feel powerful. That's where they derive power. It don't do nothing for me though. You know what I'm saying? As a person, it doesn't affect me as a person. You know what I'm saying? Hey, what's up, J Mastermind? Yeah, I just don't like the internet has allowed people like that to become, you know, a voice, right? That's why, not just that type of person, but like even like the videos I make, the shorts I make on here, where a lot of these ladies get on here, and I know what they're doing. Don't think I don't know what a lot of these ladies are doing, right? They're doing this for attention. A lot of these ladies are not as crazy as they come off. They're just making this. They make these videos because it's provocative and because it's going to elicit an emotion. It's going to elicit a response, and at the end of the day, it's going to be used as entertainment, just like I do. I'll take these clips of their videos, I use them in my videos and talk about it enough. They know what they're doing. And because of that, because I take the clips or because they're being shared or anything like that, that drives the engagement to that video, whether I like it or not. You understand? And what it does is it pays them. That they get paid off of that bullshit. That's why I say at the end of the month, especially when you're on TikTok, when you start seeing crazy shit, like especially if you got my type of algorithm, you start seeing crazier and crazier shit, or you start seeing shit pop up on the shade room, you start seeing just dumb shit, like the crazy shit y'all be seeing, like people say, right? But because you got these pander niggas out here too, they get on here at the end of the month and they just like pay their bills. Hey, she don't want to hear hi from you. Just if you're gonna say hi to her, every time you say hi, cash app her. It's niggas that get on here and they do that every month, and they have 300, 400, 500,000 followers that engage with that content, because those gentlemen are telling women what they want to hear, exactly what they ain't calling them. They damn sure ain't getting on there calling them bitches, and they're saying, they're telling men, even though men ain't listening to that bullshit, if you're gonna talk to a woman, buy her groceries, all that bullshit. Those men make money off of that engagement, off of the women clapping for it, off of people like me getting triggered by it, right? Off of, because it comes up on my feed and stuff like that, and other people engage with it and blah blah. Those men know what they're doing, and at the end of the month, both those men and those women, you're gonna see more and more dumbass takes because it pays by the 15th of the next month, right? People don't see the money instantly. A lot of times they'll see it like a month later or half a month later, especially if it's TikTok. That's why they'll get on there and start saying just the dumbest shit. And you'd be like, you really gonna get on here? You really gonna get on here and say it's empowering to be a single mom, even though you know a lot of single moms struggle. My mom struggled. And even though my dad paid child support, my mom fucking struggled, bro. And she struggled because of obviously choices and stuff that she would make. But at the same time, she still struggled. And we struggled along with her. And I see this pattern throughout these social media streets of women struggling in the same way that my mother struggled with me and my brother. You understand? In ways that we didn't have to struggle because of certain financial decisions at certain points that she would make. Same thing with these ladies. That's why even yesterday I put up the video about saying being a single mom ain't being a superhero. I'm not saying that being a single mom ain't that they don't put everything in their body into being a mom. I'm being completely honest with you. My mom put everything in more, her soul, as far as into trying to raise me and my brother. I'm just being honest with you. But in so many aspects, it broke her over and over and over again, because at the end of the day, a woman is not made to fucking bear that burden alone. I'm sorry, she's not. As much as y'all want to, she's not. And it broke her more and more times again. And in those aspects, my brother and I experienced certain traumas too growing up because it did break her. Whereas in those times where she was broken, it would have been easier for her just to say, go to your dad. He had joint custody. She could have just sent us home. You know what I'm saying? I'm not blaming, I'm not throwing anything on her. I'm just saying there was always an option. But women have this pride about themselves. I'm doing it by myself. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it happen. And she did make it happen. But there was a lot of falling and stumbling and staying in hotels and getting vouchers for hotels and getting food stamps and trying to make food stamps work and try to sell stamps here, because back in the day you actually got a fucking book of stamps and you could bust stamps and all this other shit, and what we call them busting stamps, like where you would take stamps and try to get the change, because you don't get food stamp change, so they would give you actual change back, use the change to try to build up money. Bro, trust me, I grew up in it. It's not like I sit up here and I make videos. People think I'm getting on here making videos judging people that are wrong. Bro, I grew up on that shit, but I also saw growing up on it how it is a pit. It is a pit that people rely on. It's a pit that people fall in, and it's never meant to elevate you. It's just meant to keep you on the surface from eating out of a fucking trash can. And even now, they're restricting food stamps and everything to be where you can only get certain, snack. You can't get snacks and stuff. They're only doing it in certain states now, but it's going to be nationwide. I think by the beginning of next year, where you can only get certain things. You can only get healthy food. But what they don't take into account is the reason that so many poor people buy junk food with the food stamps is because it's fucking cheap. Like, buying produce goes bad. You got 2, 3, 4 kids. That shit, especially if they're teenagers and stuff, they're gonna eat through that shit. So a lot of times you have to buy stuff that you could ration out or make stretch throughout the month. Especially if you got teenage boys or you got older boys. Them niggas eat. Me and my brother ate my mom out of house and home. You understand what I'm saying? My mom worked though. To be honest with you, like I say, even in the times where we were on welfare, my mom used it as a transitional point. Like, oh, we fell off, so we gonna use it to And then when because it's never enough. It's never enough. So I never understood why people want to live off of that shit. It's never enough. It's easier to get a job and be like, all right, this is what I'm gonna do. But we are living in a time where it's hard to find a fucking job. Yeah, it wasn't a flex. It's not a flex. It's not a flex. I'll never condemn a single parent in general. Single mom, single dad. This shit is difficult shit. Even if you getting child support. Like I've said, my kid's mom struggled. She gets most of my check goes to California. But do most of it go to her? No, it goes to the state. I know that. And even when we have conversations, she tells me that. I know that. I see it. They send me what comes out of my check, what goes to her for what goes to them for what. I see it every check. I see it when they send me my little statement or whatever. I see it. And it pisses me the fuck off that's the arrangement that we have, because I would much rather all that money went to her. If all the money went to her, I wouldn't even have a fucking problem with it. I wouldn't. But the fact that a good portion of it goes to the state to pay back some shit that, you know, she signed for is crazy. I'm not blaming her. I'm not saying that she didn't need it or whatever. But I'm just saying it's a pit. It's a pit. It's a pit. It's a pit that put me in a situation, and by proxy, it puts her in a situation, because there's nothing that woman, even to this day, couldn't ask me for. She could ask me for anything. My baby mama could ask me for anything. If she needed it, she could ask me for anything. And she knows that. She can't sit there and fucking deny that. If she needed me to take the kids in, I got them. It is what it is. If I have to make it happen, it is what it is. She know that. And it wouldn't be no, oh, how long? It'd be until it fucking indefinite. You know what I'm saying? As long as they need. You know what I'm saying? And like, as far as like, when I sit up here and people think, oh, you complain about child support. I'm complaining about it because it cripples the situation. Even for me being able to just drive interstate to go see the kids I can't because of the license situation. I don't want to get tossed up by a fucking LAPD. You know what I'm saying? What does that do? Get impounded, get fucking, because I don't have a fucking license. You understand what I'm saying? And I know laws are changing and stuff as we speak, but even then, I don't want to risk that. You know what I'm saying? Ever. Like letting these state motherfuckers put me in even another conundrum to do that. It is a fucking pit. That's it. And especially when you do have babies, when you do choose to have babies with a nigga that you know his purpose in life were to have those kids. That was the point. So you know there's nothing I wouldn't do for them. You understand? But at the same time, since we haven't been together, it's been me constantly crawling out of a pit. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. And it doesn't help the kids. It don't help them. It don't help her. It don't help me. It doesn't. And this is not just my family. It's a lot of families. It's a lot of this. Because the incentive is the grass is greener on the other side, right? There's always something better. He don't have this. He don't have that. You should be able to do this. But sometimes you can't do that as a family. Sometimes y'all have to work towards that. And sometimes it could take years to do that. But y'all do it together. That's what families do. You don't put it all on one person and say, oh, well, you didn't do this for us and you didn't do this and you didn't. Bro, we trying, bro. You know, you don't think we don't want to fucking take y'all to Disneyland? You don't think we don't want to fucking take y'all all across the country or and all that shit, bro? But fucking economics don't call for it. It's hard. You understand? But are y'all fed? Are y'all fucking clothed? Are y'all fucking housed? Absolutely. But it is what it is. It is always going to be, you were demon because of this, you that. I'm not saying that's what they're saying, and I'm just saying that's what it is. It breaks families. This so-called welfare state, the way it's supposed to help, it doesn't help. It enables. It says, okay, we're going to give you just as much, so you could barely survive, so you could barely beg, so you have to get online and say, hey, I need help. I'm about to get kicked out of this hotel room. Can y'all send? Come on, bro. When it shouldn't be like that. When you do have a nigga, probably got a whole nigga that you can call and be like, yo, I can't deal with these kids right now. I'm literally gonna drop them off. Now, I'm not saying that there ain't some lame ass niggas that a lot of these women are having babies with that you can't drop your kids off with them. Cause I don't give a fuck how much you can have a goddamn my newborn. And if you can't handle that shit, bring the baby to me. That's it. That's it. Like, but when you have babies with certain niggas, you know that's the nigga you having babies with. I'm not gonna let you fucking have the baby out here in the cold. You understand what I'm saying? But there are some niggas that don't give a fuck about you or that baby. And you knew that when you laid down with that nigga. You knew that. You knew that was that nigga because you saw how he treated his other baby mamas. You see how he treated the world. You see his opinions on things. You see how he treated people. You knew how this nigga was. So why the fuck would you let that nigga put a baby in you? You think he gonna have any fucking compassion for you when you struggling? No. My dad, like I say, my dad was a lot of things, but my dad was like, yo, at the end of the day, if you need them to just come here, just send them here. All right. You know, it was multiple times, especially like when in high school, like my dad, I remember my dad said to me, the last time my dad talked to my mom, my dad told me he don't ever want to talk to my mom again. She ended up going off for him about something. My dad had sent us like all this money. This was when I was in, what grade was I in? I think I was almost out of high school. So I had to be in 11th, 12th grade. We were hopping from hotel to hotel. And my mom was getting the money together so we can get this place. And we just needed like a few $100 or more. She had to call my dad or whatever. And when she called him, she was in an emotional state. And she started going off on this nigga for no reason. Like the nigga was like, I think he asked something about what, of course, like as I would, like, what about What happened with the money I just sent you a week ago? And she hadn't fucked off. The money wasn't fucked off. It wasn't nothing like that. But we were staying in a hotel. You know, we were trying to eat or whatever. But he did send her down there like $1,000 like a week before. So it was a simple question, but she went off on him. So he gets on the phone with me. He said, I'll never put her on the phone with me again. And my dad ended up sending me like another $1,000 so we can get the place. But he was never the type of nigga that you couldn't just call. But it was so many times where we struggled for like, because of the pride and because it was like, oh, I'm doing this and I'm not going to call that nigga, or whatever the case may be. You don't want people in your business. I understand that, right? Or you don't want to send us to Indiana. Or the kids, I'm talking about myself and my brother. Oh, we don't want to go to Gary. We don't want to go to Indiana. But it shouldn't have been a choice at certain points. It shouldn't have been. I'm just going to be honest. Like, it shouldn't have been. It shouldn't have been an option. What are we going to say if you put us on a plane and go back there? We put us on a bus to go back there. We got to go back there for a few months. It is what it is. We'll come back. But for a little bit, we need to go back to be with the other parent, because this situation obviously ain't tenable. And I, as a waiter, I see so many women coming there with their kids, okay? And you could tell they're doing the best they can for these kids. And these kids are fucking brats. And they are brats at the table. When you come to take the order, they brats to the mom, they brats to the siblings. And if it was the dad sitting at the table, the nigga would snap that shit in order real quick, because I've never been to a table where the kid's being ornery and the dad's just like, No, the dad always like, bro, you hear this nigga talking to you? I don't say nigga, but you hear him talking to you. Speak up. I've always heard that with dads. And it's like, or put the phone down, or, look at him. I remember my dad always used to say, look at him in his eye. What are you doing? Why are you looking at the floor? Shake his hand. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, look at this nigga. Like, where are you looking at? You looking all everywhere but at this nigga. This nigga's talking to you. Look at this nigga. And when there's a dad at the table, that's what you get. Like, you know what I'm saying? Whereas the mom's like, oh, what do you want? Then let the nigga, oh, I don't care. I don't know. Then the mom has to check the menu and order from him. No, nigga, pick your food or you ain't gonna eat. What are we doing? Are you stupid? What are we doing? That's what I say. You need masculine energy there too to correct certain behaviors. I'm not saying that women don't have that, because my mom wouldn't have that shit. And a lot of our moms wouldn't have that shit either. The way we grew up, they wouldn't have that shit. They would have fucking been, are you stupid? Like, our moms wouldn't have had that shit either. It's these new moms. It's like, oh, I don't want to, I just want them to be okay. I don't want them to be depressed. I know school's hard and life's hard. So, no, fuck that. School starts Monday. I'm taking y'all out to eat before we go to school. The waiter's talking to you. What do you want? I'm buying you whatever you want. This is a good day. We're having a good day. We got enough money to trick off on some money. I'll trick off on some food right now, some lunch. I'm buying y'all some food. Look at the waiter, tell him what you want. But you don't see that a lot. You don't see that a lot from women. You need both women and men. And sometimes women, I'm not saying you have to stay with that man. I'm not an advocate of that either. I'm not saying you have to be with that nigga. Stay with that nigga to keep the family. I'm not saying that. Because I know a lot of women have babies with niggas that they fall out of love with or they're just not into. I get that. But at least come up with a situation to where y'all can co-parent, to where you're not taking a brunt of the situation. You can put some of that on him, because you can, and keep the state out y'all business. And have babies with men that you can put the brunt on that with him. Push them kids on him for a little bit. If you struggling, push the kids on him. Them his kids. And that's why we say, have babies with decent niggas. I'm not saying that he have to be the most upstanding center, but a nigga that's gonna take his kids. Because there shouldn't be no goddamn way that you drop your babies off at your baby daddy's house and he don't open the door for his babies if you pull off. That's if you literally land up with a nigga that you can't count on. Oh, I got your baby. I'm about to drop this nigga off right here. I can't deal with this right now, or I'm struggling, or I'm going through it. I'm about to drop. If that nigga don't open the door, you having babies with the wrong nigga. Because you couldn't drop. I don't give a fuck if I don't like the baby mama. I don't give a fuck if I don't like her. You drop my kids off at the door, they I'm gonna open the door. I don't give a fuck what I'm engaged in him. I just have to put that shit away or tell whoever to leave, but the kids come first. You have babies with niggas that care about their fucking kids, bro. And some of y'all are out here literally living in cars with y'all kids when your baby daddy is with a woman who won't even let the kids come over there. See, at least with the ladies that I've dealt with, even my last girlfriend, she would have let my kids come over at any fucking point. In fact, she encouraged it. She's taking me out there to try to see my kids. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the type of women I would never deal with a woman that wouldn't let me like be around my, I'm saying if I was living with a woman, I live by myself. But I'm saying if I was in a relationship or whatever, couldn't be around a woman where my kids wouldn't welcome. They my fucking kids. I'm sorry, y'all. My mom was so on it that I was yelling out the window in the drive-thru from the backseat. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather keep my dropout authentic dad than well off cold one. Any like I just think that a lot of ladies put themselves in a situation that they don't need to be in, and then they get online and they complain about it. Like from the very beginning, pick somebody that you can have a conversation with. If you talk to, I'm gonna talk to some of the women, and I'm just talking to young ladies. I'm talking to women in general. Talk to y'all like I'm talking to I was talking to my mom, or I'm talking to my daughter, if she's dating or whatever. If you ask a man, okay, like just ask him, like, what are your plans for the future, right? And we're not just talking about the career. We're not just talking about that. You want to get an insight of this man. Take money out your mind. That man's going to tell you everything you need to know about him, right? Because his idea of what the future is for him should include a lot of things that you desire as well, right? And if those things don't align, it ain't gonna work. You can see right off the rip. The nigga's gonna tell you a lot of times the truth, because he's not thinking that you're probing. He's not thinking of he's just thinking, oh, what's your plans for the future? Oh, what do you want to do? What do you want to get out of this situation? Or not the situation. Don't say that because he's gonna think you're talking about the relationship. Talk about out of life. Like, what are you trying to get out of life? What are you trying to get out of life in general? If those goals don't align with what you're trying to get out of this reality, don't have a baby with that nigga. It's that simple. I'm not even saying don't deal with that. You can deal with that. You can have fun with that nigga. You can have all the rendezvous and fuck sessions you want with the nigga, but wrap it up if you need to. Take birth control. Fucking abortions are not fucking birth control. I don't know why this generation thinks that that's birth control. It's not. Y'all can prevent pregnancy altogether, completely. Take birth control. Fucking put on, I know it's gonna make me gain weight, whatever the case may be, but abortion is not birth control, right? You can have fun with that nigga, just don't have that nigga's kid. Cause that nigga's goals are some shit like, oh man, you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to make sure my car is I'm trying to get some rims and all the most minute goals, the most superficial bullshit. That nigga's not the nigga you want to be with. I promise you. He's not. He's not. If it ain't got shit to do with kids, if it ain't got shit to do with family, if it ain't got shit to do with God, that nigga's not the nigga. You understand? He's not. Cause that's the nigga that, like, I know the niggas that talk like that, a lot of times they're not the fun nigga. I get it. The nigga that's talking about, I'm trying to move this, or I'm trying to stack this, so I'm trying to stack. Those are the more interesting individuals, because they are interesting. Because to me, they move through life with a lizard brain that I can't fathom, and that's not an insult. I admire it. I do. I admire it from afar. I'm way too. I have way too many emotions in me, and maybe it's because I was raised by a woman. Because I do. I have a lot of feminine qualities about me. There's no doubt about that. So there's a lot of things that I look at them niggas and I'm like, damn, y'all just move with like, y'all niggas move with no compassion. Y'all niggas move through life and they get what they want. They get what they want out of fucking the economy. They get what they want out of women. They get what they want out of the situation. But sometimes them niggas are the first niggas to crash and burn and not know who they are as an individual, as a person. Talk to that nigga. And a lot of times the nigga that don't know who he is as an individual in the system is always going to look for himself in other women, in bitches, and women, and coochie. That's where you're going to find yourself. You're going to find yourself with rendezvous after rendezvous after rendezvous. I've been there not knowing what I want to do. Oh, I'm just lost in life. So I'm just going to date this one and that one and this one and then It's stupid. It's like, what is it? Like, now you have all these, what do they call it? Soul ties? And I used to didn't believe in that shit, but I believe in it now. Oh, trust me, I believe in it. Everybody that you interact with, especially if you're inside them it's because it's not, because as men, we always put on women, oh, you got all these niggas in. But bro, that's on us too, bro. Like you going all these women, bro, you taking a piece of them with you. You are. Man, there's some crazy bitches out here, bro, that you sleeping with sometimes, bro. You taking some of that crazy with you. You taking some of that demonic energy that they have on them with you. And that's go for both men and female. So yeah, they may be attractive, they may be fun and but there's energy that is locked onto you, right? You know what I'm saying? And I say even with me, I'm gonna be real personable here, right? One of the things with me is that I've become so, this is so gross, but I've become so numb to like sex, like not because I have a lot of sex, it's not that. It's because of my mind is warped, and it's because I've seen everything there is to see, right? That it takes a long time for me to come. Like, I'm not trying to be funny. Like, if I'm having sex, it don't. Yeah, I can. Like, I'm getting it. It feel good on it, but it's just like it's fucking crazy, bro. And I'm like, yo, that's that demonic energy that's on me. That's not good because it should just come, right? Like, right, but it doesn't. It's like it's all this other backlog shit, and I believe that's the voice of 100 bitches just pulling at me saying, nah, nigga, you ain't getting that out. I do in a way believe that. I believe that, bro. I believe that. You know what I mean? It is traumatic. Hey y'all, hey Joshua, how y'all doing? I'm sorry, y'all. Just getting my shit off, bro. No, and abortion is traumatic. And I'm not trying to put people's business out there, but I'm saying, like, I've been part of. I'm being honest. Like, I'm completely honest. I'm a complete honest dude. And I'm pretty sure she don't mind me telling this. But I was with my kid's mom for a long time. And we originally only planned on having our oldest child, our oldest. And so at some point we were struggling. I mean, we were doing dining dashes. That's why when people do dining dashes on me, I get mad, but I know it's karma. We would do dining dashes. We would fucking go steal groceries. We were struggling with my first son. We were going through it. And this was, I think it was in between jobs. I think one of my jobs had closed. I think it was Anchor Blue at the mall. And then I ended up working at Sears after that. But between that, we were struggling for a minute. And at some point she got pregnant. And it wasn't because she was being irresponsible. We were being irresponsible. She was always on her birth control. It was something, I think she had a toothache or something. And one of the medicines that they had gave her canceled out the fucking birth control. It just did, right? One of those fate-based things. The doctor said it, everything. So she got pregnant. We just wasn't there, bro. We wasn't there for it. So me being me, and we've had this conversation recently. I convinced her, like, we need to, are we going to try to do this and da-da-da-da. So she ended up going and doing it. She ended up going to get that thing done, and it fucked with her. It did. It really fucked with her. And it fucks with her to this day that she did that. And even now, she still sometimes feel haunted by that particular child, because ultimately we end up having my daughter, and then we end up having another kid. And so it was like our son. But you look at that, and I do feel guilty. I do. And so there's like, when I speak on certain things, I'm not like just speaking on it because I'm being like, I'm just talking about stuff I'm seeing. And I have opinions about a lot of stuff that I don't even tell y'all about that pertains to my family and my personal life. And it's because, I'm not going to put all my family's business out there. I'm not going to put all my personal life out there, even though I don't care about my part or making myself look a certain way. I've learned I can't put everybody else's stuff out there. Now, my kid's mom, she is also a public, persona, and she makes videos and stuff. But at the same time, I know she don't mind telling that part of the story because it's a cautionary tale for a lot of people. And and there was a lot of heartbreak there in that situation. We couldn't afford the child, but at the same time, we would have made a way because we made a way with the other ones. You get what I'm saying? And there's guilt. I'm being honest. At least for me, there's guilt there. There's a lot of guilt there. A lot of it is because of obviously I put pressure on her to do it. I'm not gonna even hold you up. I did. I know it's crazy, right? But it's insane, bro. But I don't know. So if y'all struggling out there and you got a baby daddy that's willing to take care of the kids, or at least willing to help the kids, do that. Don't have kids at all without some village, either a village on his side or a village on your side. I'm not going to necessarily say a village on his side, because sometimes his side of the family will turn on you. This is advice to the ladies, because I think a lot of ladies think I don't like women or I don't sympathize with it. I just think a lot of ladies make a lot of stupid fucking decisions based on who they date. And I think I said it even yesterday in the video when I was talking about my mom's boyfriend and the nigga that she dealt with after my dad. And she dealt with some bums. She dealt with some fucking characters, and she dealt with one particular abusive bum that warped my perception of humanity, as far as like the reason I have that rage in me is because of that individual and because of the murder fantasies that developed in my head with that person being a part of our life for so long. I wanted to kill that nigga. And even up until this point, I can't honestly tell you. I honestly can't. And I know he's probably an old man now because, like I said, my auntie's married to his cousin and all this other stuff. I can't honestly sit here and tell you that if I wasn't in the room with that man, and I wouldn't kill him. I would probably kill him. Honestly, I'm not being facetious or anything. I would probably murder him just for my own satisfaction, right? Because I know at some point it's karmic retribution. Because of this individual, had to talk to too many dark entities in order to keep my sanity intact at a point. You understand? And this is being too young to deal with that. As an adult, there's other avenues you could take to not go that deep into psychosis. But at this point, this motherfucker tortured us, especially me, because there was a point where I didn't sleep because of the man my mom chose to deal with. So that's why I say choose wisely. But he ran the streets. He was a part of an element that, my nerdy father wasn't a part of. He was a part of an element that my mom has always been attracted to. My dad has never been that. My dad was straight edge. The worst my dad did as far as like his vices. Yeah, my dad would fuck bitches. My dad had a heavy coke habit, like a lot of people did in the 80s and 90s and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? But besides that, my dad got up and go into work every day. My dad was very predictable. Let's put it like that, all the way up until his death. That is not necessarily attractive to some people. That predictability, that routine is not attractive to some women. Some women, like my mother, and I'm not knocking her, I'm just making an observation, are attracted to an element that is a lot more chaotic. And I'm saying this up until her last boyfriend, up until her coming up to my fucking door with this nigga a few months ago. You understand what I'm saying? This is who she's been attracted to. You know what I'm saying? Her, that element, that side of the, because I can't say too much because I don't, I'm not a snitch. I'm not trying to put people out there. But that element is still out here doing its dirt. You get what I'm saying? And my mom is attracted to, has always been attracted to that element. And I see that in a lot of younger women who are attracted to that element. Because like I say, as a man, I don't get it because I'm a man. I'm like, these niggas is bums. But I am starting to understand that is provocative to a lot of women. Much like, maybe whores are to some men. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people love chaos and they love chaotic people. They don't like structure. They don't like predictability. They're like, yeah, exactly. They don't like to deal with that. They like to, even for themselves, they don't like discipline. Discipline for too long is boredom and it's unfamiliar. And with the way my mom grew up in a lot of chaos. So I understand. My mom grew up rough. Okay. Her and a lot of her siblings grew up real rough. They saw a lot of crazy shit. They been through a lot of crazy shit. They saw a lot of crazy shit. They did a lot of crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? So I get when my mom got with my dad being predictable and the Darlings being very predictable people, church people, fucking, like even to this day, they're very good people. Though that side of my family, my dad's side of the family are very stoic. They're very pious as far as their beliefs. They're very predictable people, right? So my mom coming from chaos got with my dad, that was different, I think. You know what I'm saying? So she always calls out that my dad was very book smart, but my dad wasn't very street smart. And it's true, my dad wasn't very street smart. I remember one year my dad got robbed 3 times in three months in a row. He had bought these big screen TVs, and in the 90s, big screen TVs was a thing. Dad bought these fucking TVs. He's living alone, okay? Everybody in the fucking neighborhood know you live alone. This nigga lives alone, Mr. Bachelor. This is after him and my mom divorced. He's there by himself. He buys these big ass floor model TVs and puts the boxes out on the fucking curb. Like 3 different fucking times. At some point you gotta catch on that niggas are seeing that you putting the boxes out there. That's why they breaking into the fucking house, bro. Come on. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not always where you're from, it's where you're going. It is what you strive to be. And that's what I was telling these ladies. Yeah, right? Like, come on, bro. Like, every day you putting out that's just dumb. Like, but he did. And he got robbed they robbed his ass 3 different times, went there and took all this shit. You know what I'm saying? But my dad was very predictable. Whereas me and my mom dealt with after my dad, were all crazy. Like, the one boyfriend that my mom actually had that I liked, his name was Jimmy. He was a nigga that she started dealing with after the abusive nigga in Milwaukee. He wasn't abusive. He had a daughter about around me and my brother's age. The nigga was cool as fuck. Like, the nigga sold drugs. The nigga was a drug dealer, though. He was a drug dealer. And what happened with Jimmy was they were together, and when my cousin got his record deal, he moved a lot of us out west, right? So we ended up, my cousin ended up, when he was touring, he ended up coming to Milwaukee. He saw how we were kind of living, because my mom wasn't living in the house with us, honestly. We were living in my grandma's house, me and my brother, and my mom would come and pick us up and take us to school. She was living with her boyfriend. It was me and my brother in there. That was it. So my cousin, my aunties, and them came. It was like, y'all need to get out of this. Because my mom was depressed. She didn't want to be in my grandma's house, all this other stuff. So when my cousin came, they ended up moving us out to Milwaukee, and we ended up leaving Jimmy there because he was still, he had his apartment, So we ended up moving out to California, and Jimmy stayed in his apartment, and he came out some months later. But when he came out, the nigga was like fucking like 30 pounds lighter. The nigga, you could tell this nigga had been smoking. He had started doing his own supply. Whereas a few months before, you went over this nigga's house. This nigga's house was stacked. The nigga had his shit together. The nigga had a Sega Saturn before a Sega Saturn was even a fucking thing. That he was that nigga for a minute. But of course, when he came out to California, the nigga was smoked the fuck out. Smoked out. And even when he came out to California smoked out, I still liked Jimmy to a certain degree, okay? So at that point, my mom was like a manager at Kmart. And in the little food section, she was like she did the schedules and all that. She didn't get a nigga a job there. But this nigga could not keep the job because the nigga's constantly showing up drunk and high. And the nigga was standing outside of 7-Eleven, the fucking 7-Eleven at the corner of our apartment, right? So all the kids know that that's my mom's boyfriend. I'm like, is that your dad? That's not my fucking dad. Standing outside of 7-Eleven begging for change. But this nigga, this is what the nigga would do. Stand out there, just get him a beer. Then this nigga would get drunk. And this is where the entertainment happened. The nigga would come to the house because at this point, we lived in this like building where it was like everybody knew each other, everybody be out. And the nigga come in drunk as fuck, and he'll start proclaiming his love to my mom. But at this point, my mom was over this nigga because the nigga hair fell off. The nigga didn't have no drip. This nigga was ashy. This nigga's hairline was pushed back. I get it. She was done with this nigga, right? But the nigga came back and he had to like literally proclaim his love, right? So he coming there doing all this serenading shit, be trying to sing Jodeci and shit. And at one point, everybody was outside, and he was like, he want to profess his love. So he jumped off the balcony into the pool. Shit was just embarrassing all around. Nigga was smoked the fuck out. Smoked out. She ended up putting that nigga out. Nigga ended up going back to fucking Milwaukee. It was trash, bro. Nigga was bad. It was bad work. And I like Jimmy too. I was rooting for Jimmy, but Jimmy fell off. It was funny because when Jimmy came out, Jimmy was like, I'm gonna bring the Sega Saturn. Me being again, bring the Saturn. If he coming out bringing the Saturn, he's more than welcome. Bring the Saturn, my nigga. So the nigga's like, yeah, come on, bringing the Saturn. I'm bringing the Saturn. Tell me why when this nigga showed up to our apartment, this nigga didn't have a Saturn in his bag. What the fuck happened to your Saturn? This nigga smoked that shit out. He also smoked out my grandma's car because my mom got left my grandma's car and she left it with that nigga. The nigga was supposed to drive the car out to California. Smoked it out. That shit became a crack rock. So when that nigga came out there, all that weight, this shit was in that glass dick, bro. He put that shit right there. You know it's bad when it's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? That shit, Jodeci, bro. This nigga was out there fucking tripping, bro. And everybody just out there laughing. I thought the shit was fine. That shit used to tickle me, bro, because the nigga had no hope. It was like, it let me, like, early on, let me see, like, bro, once the respect is gone, it's gone. I say that, but then, of course, you know, obviously was like, I put up with some things, too, later on in life, but I would never be out there singing Jodeci after the lady that told me that she didn't like me. My mom would demean this nigga. My mom would embarrass this nigga. She would call this nigga nothing. She would like, and the nigga would stay around. And pretty much every boyfriend my mom had up until her last boyfriend would put up with that shit. Her last boyfriend, to be fair, that nigga he would fire back. He didn't put up with that shit. But every boyfriend my mom had, and the longest relationship my mom had with the man was her last boyfriend, the nigga that got fucked up recently. That was her longest relationship besides my dad. She was with that nigga for years. She was with that nigga for at least a decade. And that nigga didn't put up with that shit with my mom. But every boyfriend up until that nigga, my mom just abused them niggas, bro. Like, we would clown them niggas. We would disrespect them niggas. Like, them niggas didn't have no say. And, like, it was just sad, bro. Them niggas was lame. It makes you very neurotic. It makes you very neurotic. It makes you very neurotic because there's always something, bro. African Americans, bro, where the fuck that's what I'm saying. Like, what the fuck? Are they from Africa or the African American aliens? I think they want to say black aliens, but they didn't want to say black aliens. But right, African American aliens is stupid shit, bro. That's what I'm like, what the fuck are y'all blaming? What do y'all know about? What? That shit don't even make sense to me. How do y'all even come to that fucking conclusion? Y'all niggas is fucking stupid, bro. I can't believe nothing NASA say. Just like I can't believe nothing the CIA say. I can't believe nothing any of these motherfuckers say. NASA's one of them. NASA get up here every few months. They either know about some aliens or they don't know about some stuff. They can't tell you how they made a phone call to the moon in 1969. They can't tell you nothing about nothing, but they can literally tell you that in a speck of light, some fucking millions of miles away, that there's some niggas on a fucking spaceship coming this way by November. Y'all niggas get out of here, bro. Stop it, bro. Stop it. Y'all tell somebody else that shit. That fear-mongering shit don't work on somebody. The world's always ending. I'm gonna tell y'all that. My whole life, the world's been ending. I'm surprised, and I'm 42 years old. The world's ending. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? You gonna keep living. That's the crazy part of it. It's not a credits. The credits don't start rolling, right? You keep fucking living. You keep living. That's the thing. You keep living until you don't. That's the fucking secret. That's what it is. You literally keep living until you don't. That's life. Literally life. Like, that's it. That's the secret of life. You live your ass off until you don't. And if you're a decent person, you're gonna live that life doing your best not to take from somebody else's experience. Meaning you're not making a victim of somebody else to make your experience good. Because you have rage in you, don't mean that you could take it out on other people who are just trying to experience this life. Does that make sense? That means you need to isolate yourself somewhere and do yourself in if you need to. If that rage is that all-consuming to where you need to go out and victimize people, you understand? That's how you live this experience. But life is about living until you can't do it no more. And this is about taking in this experience as it is, right? And trying to come up with some type of solution for us all to live a little bit better. And like right now, if there are aliens coming, imagine that their reaction to us is based on our energy. Like whether our energy is positive or negative. Let's say if they come here and our energy is like on a level where we're trying to elevate ourselves and we're trying to be better individuals, and that's what they come here and they feel that and they match that energy. Maybe we can have some type of relationship. Maybe they can share some things with us that we don't know. But if they come here, we're filled with the type of hate and angst and uncertainty that we are. Maybe that's what they're gonna hit us with. Maybe they're like, these motherfuckers are crazy. Like, what are they doing? Why? What is money? Like, why are they putting up with certain things? Why are they allowing themselves to be abused? Why do they worship this thing that really doesn't exist when it's all about resources? Haven't these monkeys figured out a way to quantify resources in a better way than this denomination and this bank account and this denomination they haven't figured it out? Why? When there's so much here on this earth, like this earth that they all occupy can be shared and can be enjoyed by people without people using those resources to manipulate other people, but they haven't come to that point. Maybe we should just blow these niggas up. maybe we should just fry these motherfuckers. Like, right. Usually they go fry some heads like the village chicken from Indiana Jones 4. Right? Yeah, bro. When they faces melted, you talking about those crystal heads? That shit was crazy, bro. It can be Google. I'm sure they can read the energy off from a distance. Something we ain't thinking about is it could be that. It could be reading us from all the way out there, all that, and they just getting on us that we fucked up, right? And it's like, why are we so messed up, bro? Like, there's, like I said earlier, as far as this reality, there's a lot of things. We do live in an age where there's a lot of things that we have access to that people for centuries couldn't even imagine. And they're just easy things that we take for granted, right? But things are so difficult for us to deal with on a social level, right? Because we are so judgmental and so fucking like trying to impress each other on some dumb shit. Like, and that's why I say that's what goes back to our like primate roots. Like, we're at the end of the day, we're no different than monkeys. We're not. We may be sophisticated, but like at the end of the day, we find something shiny and we want to hold it up in front of everybody as opposed to figuring out how to use that shiny thing to make everybody have a shiny thing. You know what I'm saying? Like we want dominion, like a lot of us. And I'm even saying that exists within my heart. And I've admitted that before to y'all many times. Like, I want dominion. I want, like, and that's something that I try to fight. And it's something I try to pray out of me, but it's the truth. I'll say it a million times. If everybody in the world put down their gun and that was the thing, I would be the first person to pick the fucking gun up. That's a problem. That's me being honest. That's my soul. Like, I see that. I like, it's like a vision. I literally see that. And it's a problem that vexes me. And I don't know. And it's not a demon and it's not a spirit. It's fucking me. It's no influence. It's nothing. It's literally just my soul. And I see it. And I see it like clear as day. And I see that. I see like world peace, right? I see it like, and it's me just reaching for the fucking gun, reaching for the goddamn weapon. Like, why? And it's like all my life I've seen it. And it's like, and when I pray on it, it says, oh, you're supposed to just watch. You're supposed to just watch. I'm not supposed to interact. I'm not supposed to pick up anything. I'm not supposed to take up the weapon. I'm not supposed to be the protector. I can't save no fucking world because I can't save myself, right? I'm supposed to just watch. But there's this desire in me not to just watch, but to want to interact and to have dominion over all things. And I don't know what the fuck that is. I say that's the goddamn devil, bro. But it exists in all of us. It exists in me. I'm not gonna say this has been a thing, and aliens always existed. Always, bro. As long as we've been here, and you were born, you born what you born to do. And that's probably what it is. I don't know what it is. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. But it scares me. It scares me more than anything. The thing that scares me the most is that pit of darkness that lives in me. But with that being said, before we go into that, because it's been a fun live, I'm gonna get off of here. Thank y'all for joining me, y'all. I appreciate y'all being here. I honestly always appreciate y'all coming into these lives. I be nervous when I first hop on here, so when y'all, especially like Khalil, you always hop in here, make me feel comfortable, bro. So I can just get on here and fucking rant about some shit. If y'all got homeboys in y'all life that did the type of shit that my homeboy did, y'all gotta cut them. Y'all can't have them type of niggas in y'all life. Even back in high school, we knew a nigga that pushed himself up on a girl. That nigga was cut. That nigga was like, you can't do that. That ain't the type. We ain't on that time. We're not on that time. We ain't on that time on pressuring no girl. We ain't on time on pushing yourself up on no woman. We ain't on time on sniffing ass, right? Without consent. Because I don't get that part. Women will literally let you sniff their ass. Like, what do you do? Or whatever. I'm not gonna get into that. We not on that. You understand what I'm saying? We not on that, bro. Like, and if you got homeboys on that, don't be on here defending that shit. A lot of weirdo shit is weirdo shit. Sometimes, like I say, there ain't no signs that your homeboy's a weirdo though. There a lot, and I'm even saying this to the ladies. Sometimes y'all be thinking we be knowing niggas is creeps. We don't know our niggas is creeps. Them niggas is not out here coming to the kickback talking about, oh yeah, bro, I sexually assault women. Oh yeah, bro, I had to beat my bitch the other night. Niggas is not openly saying that shit in popular conversation. At least not with niggas I know. They not that center. I had to smack the fuck out of that holder. Nah, bro. Like, whoa. That's like where all of us like, bro. I'm not even trying. Like, I try not to put my family out there too much. But even my cousin, bro, that live in this city, bro, I don't fuck with that nigga, bro. I love that nigga to death. Trust me, I love that nigga to death. I'll tell y'all one more story time. I love that nigga to death. Trust me. He's like my cousin. He's my first cousin of above me. Like, so no, yeah, my first cousin above me, my first male cousin above me. We're like close in age, right? 4 years above me. I don't fuck with that nigga, bro. Because of what he did to his wife, bro. The nigga beats his wife, bro. Like, the nigga was beating his wife for years, bro. This shit was not like this open secret because this nigga openly tells you about it in front of his wife that he had to beat her ass, bro. I came out here one 1 week to help my mom get an apartment. So I understand with this nigga, right, for like 2 weeks, right? And in that 2 weeks, this nigga told me so much shit about what he did to that woman, bro. And he casually said that shit to me like it was just like popular, like whatever conversation, bro. And it's like his wife's a fucking sweetheart. She is. She's a fucking sweetheart. But they tried to make this girl out to be like she was crazy. And the last straw was this nigga took a fucking glass, okay, and threw it at her like a fucking a wine glass, and slit the tendon, and she almost lost her thumb, bro. How can a bitch make you that mad to where you gonna throw glass at her? Now I'm not like sitting up here saying like, yeah, a woman can make you mad to where you want to like, but bro, that when it start getting to that point, y'all gotta separate, bro. You can't be doing it. I don't fuck with that nigga because he's so casual about it. It ain't because everybody's made mistakes. It's just because that nigga talks about that shit like it's just like that nigga went like they just, you know, like when people talk about their vacation they had with their girl and they're like, oh, you went to that's how the nigga talk about how he had to go upside her head sometime. You know what I'm saying? And that shit is crazy to me. And I'm not saying that she was 100% innocent, but bro, at a certain point, bro, it's like some of this stuff you telling me is insane. And then when I'm sitting there and I'm seeing the dynamic, it's a lot of fear there because of the way you gonna react if they move left when they should have moved right. I'm not just talking about the wife, but even the kids, they move certain ways. Like, what are you doing? What are you like, bro? They just going in the refrigerator. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, you think I ever give a fuck if my kids at a certain age going in the refrigerator? They fucking hungry. They probably want something to drink. I don't give a fuck if they go in the refrigerator to get something. We get it again. We blessed, bro. We blessed people. My family's always been blessed. When, you know, yeah, homeless or not or whatever, the reason that we're still here and the reason that we're fucking good, relatively, no matter how much money we don't have, we've always been blessed. So your kids going in the refrigerator to get something is just what we didn't grow up like that, bro. We didn't grow up like that. Like, what are you doing? You being a tyrant because it's a position of power, and I can't respect that when you fucking doing that to your fucking family. I can't. And that's why I say, if you know niggas that are like that, whether it's family or not, don't let them fucking like don't. That shit ain't cool. And for all the ladies that think there's a lot of us out here just like, oh, we cool with that shit. We are not. That shit ain't cool, bro. We've been in the house with niggas that terrorize the house. We've been around that shit. So like we don't want to replicate that. We don't want to see it. And I'm being completely honest. Even with my oldest child, I was like that around that nigga, bro. Like I was tripping, bro. Like I used to kick holes in the wall, bro. Me and his mom used to get into like fucking fights, bro. We would fucking be in there crazy, throwing glass. I put that on my son, and then one day, bro, what was it? What happened? We had got this townhouse, right? So it was my family, her family, all that shit, and I'm in there. She pissed me off on something, bro. That girl could piss me off no more than anybody in life, right? She pissed me off on something. And so, of course, me being me, I'm heated, I'm cussing, I'm throwing a fit, and I go in this bathroom, and just like I've always do, I punch the fucking wall like a crazy person, right? Put a hole in the goddamn wall, right? Now this wasn't a cheap place we were living in. This was a fucking house. This was a nice place. So the wall wasn't like drywall. It was like it was a fucking wall, right? So that shit fucked up my knuckles first off. But I didn't give a fuck. I was high. That ain't what made me see myself. Obviously, I'm in the mirror seeing my abusive ass face, seeing me tripping, heated and shit. I got kids in the house. I'm mad. My mom's in the house. Her mom's in the house. Her dad's in the house. It was the look on her dad's face when I came out the bathroom. It was the look of sheer disappointment. Just sheer disappointment. Sheer fucking disappointment. It wasn't anger. He didn't say anything. It was just a look of disappointment. And I saw myself. You understand? And so for my younger kids, I would never I could see him like, yo, bro. So for up until that point, my son was like, well, he had to be about 7, 8. I put him through that. You know, anytime his mom went through it, that's something that I put him through. You see what I'm saying? You can't, that ain't cool. It ain't. So I'm not just like on here just judging. I'm sitting here saying my shit too. You know what I'm saying? But I don't like that energy when you can't sit there and you don't recognize how destructive that is to your family members or to her or to whatever. You know, me and her, we match energy. I'm gonna be honest. Me and her, we match energy, but it's still destructive. It still becomes, you still are no longer a place of comfort for your family because you're letting your anger get the best of yourself, or you letting all these demons or whatever the fuck it may be. And like I say, sometimes it's not the demons, it's just you. You are the demon. Sometimes the demon is just you. Sometimes those are not extraterrestrial thoughts that are invading your mind space. That's just you. You're just a fucked up person, and sometimes you're just fucked up in the head. Sometimes you resort to anger because you don't know what else to do, because you feel like anger is strength, and anger is not strength. Anger is a lot of times weakness. It's just you being broke down to that point to where you're feeling so much malice and contempt in your heart to where you just lash out at the world, and it's just not cool. But with that being said, why do you observe? I think I used to think targeted individuals was made up. I regret watching this realm unfold. Behind anger is sadness. That's real. The social programming from the government might have fucked up my head. I think it fucked up all our heads. But sometimes, and this is gonna be my advice. I'm gonna get off of here. Put down a phone. Just put down a phone for a couple of days. That's it. That's my advice. Not saying you have to put down all technology, but just the phone. Don't interact with the phone at all. Just put it. I do it all the time. I just put the phone away. I'm not gonna even interact with it. Just leave it alone. I'm not gonna go on TikTok. I'm not gonna do no social media. I'm not gonna be doing phone calls, texting. I'm just gonna leave this little demonic Palantir to itself. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's what it is. Watch paint dry, right? No, and honestly, that's why I got all this stuff here. The other day, my homegirl, she bought me some what is it? Pink pineapple. Delicious. Pink pineapple is delicious, bro. Bought me some pink pineapple. I'm sitting here and I just sat here on the edge of my bed and I just ate pink pineapple. I didn't listen to nothing. I didn't have nothing in my ear. I didn't do anything but just ate the pink pineapple. That's all I did. And it was dope. It was just very peaceful. It wasn't no outside nothing. It was just a pink pineapple. It was just my experience with the pink pineapple, eating it and just taking that, you know. I need to try that, but I think I'm addicted to my phone. Just even if it's for a few hours, a few hours to where you're used to using the phone, do something else where in that few hours. But I'm addicted to my phone too, very much so. Do you guys blame Sophia, the goddess of wisdom? No, I blame us all because wisdom is addictive. That's why we are on these phones. We are on these phones. Why are we addicted to these phones? Because it gives us information. It gives us an eye into the world, right? Not just social media, but even into our own lives, our own social circle. Like, even if you're not into social media, even if you don't have, like, you know, the different accounts or whatever, you still have a social circle within your phone. And we're addicted to getting information from our social circle as humans. We just are. We're just a part of being human. And we get on here every day and it's the most addictive thing. I get on here and I be doom scrolling. I have cartoons, like, bro, and I promise I do have a cartoon coming within the next couple of weeks. And I'm up here making this cartoon and a lot of it will be done if I just wasn't on here scrolling, being on social media, reading shit, going, dude, I'll even go down rabbit holes on comic book characters and shit, where I'm just like, oh, let me go to the Marvel archive or go to DC Essentials and see what this, and then I'll go from character and I start clicking on the hyperlinks and going from character to character to character and book to book to book to see just that's what I'm saying. It's just information. And a lot of it is useless information, but we're addicted to it. All right, I gotta get off here, but thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate y'all being here, y'all. I'll catch y'all next time. Bye bye.